The SIDEMEN charity match is one of the biggest YouTube events in history. As soon as it's announced, it's one of the most looked forward to things ever, and they continuously deliver, this year being a 9-9 game going to penalties. And although I'm a little late to February, and the SIDEMEN ended up losing, I thought it would be interesting to see how this team would do in real life. Well, in a simulated FC25 Manger Career Mode. So we've done exactly that by taking over this Leyton Orient squad in League 1 and recreating the SIDEMEN FC starting 11 from that game. You see, I had ChatGPT create what that card would look like for each and every player and what position they played in the charity match, which brought us this starting 11. Obviously, we already had some superstars, Toby and Simon, 76 and 81 rated at 19 years old. Yes, I made them super young. I wanted to see their potential grow over time, but we also have some absolute stinkers like Logan Paul at a 55, Vicstar at a 52, and XQC at a 60. No way Vicstar was worse than XQC in that match, but here we are. As for the bench, I'm going to go to the academy and get a whole bench full of English players. I'm going to pretend they're just fans of the SIDEMEN. And of course, our manager, Cal Freezy, is coming in for it. And here he is clocking in, Cal Freezy, our manager for this rebuild. So after trying to get out as many players as I could, this is how the team is looking. I'm specifically worried about Vicstar and Logan Paul losing game time to players on the bench, but we're just going to need them to keep growing to ensure that doesn't happen. Let's see how Season 1 gets on with SIDEMEN FC in League 1. By the way, I missed the actual offer here, but I have the email at the very least. I'm sure he'd be ecstatic about this, but we got an offer for KSI from Arsenal in the first month of us being a club. Great job, SIDEMEN FC, but sorry, Arsenal, he's sticking with us for now. We're also still in the FA Cup. However, we are facing Simon Minter's favorite club, Leeds, in that tournament. We do not seem to be in the Carabao Cup anymore, but we are still pushing for the BSM trophy. But of course, Simon Minter, 83 rated. He does not need to be in League 1 right now, but we're going to do everything we can to keep him. Hope Jizzle though up 3, 10 and 9 for him, and Zerkaa up to a 70, 8 and 3 for him as well. Logan Paul up to a 59, Vicstar not growing so much, and XQC up to a 65. Let's get through the rest of this year. And we absolutely dominated Season 1. We ended up tying on points with second place. However, we took top spot with goal difference. We're going straight up to the championship in Season 2. That's going to be fantastic. And it was Middlesbrough who won the FA Cup. Of course, we ended up going out to Leeds, but not without a fight. Arsenal wins the Carabao Cup, but we win the BSM trophy 6-1 over Mansfield. That is absurd. A little double in Season 1? Can't beat that. But our player of the season, Simon Minter, +5 overall, 86 rated. We knew he was the best SIDEMEN. But Zerkaa right behind him, 25 and 12, up +7 overall. Tobe Jizzle up to an 82. Joe Weller on the left mid spot up to a 74. And Mark Rober, the American, a standout season at left back, 6 and 6, +6 overall. XQC, our goalkeeper, almost at a 70 already. And as soon as we can get Vicstar over the 60 mark, I think we'll be looking a lot better. But I really like the way this team is moving. I have high hopes for the championship. And a major update here in October of Season 2, both Toby and Simon have been called up to the England national team. We are making great progress already. And not just them, it looks like Mark Rober has joined the US as well in, I think we're in November now. Crazy. This is going much better than I could have planned it. And I wanted back-to-back promotion, and we are on the way to it right now. We're currently 3rd in the championship here on the 1st of January. This is a great season for us so far. We just need to maintain it through the rest of the year. But Simon Minter up to an 89 in only half of the year. I don't know where he's going to end up at the end of this season. 16 and 8 for him. Zerkaa up +4, 78, almost past that 80 mark. 14 and 7 for him. And Vicstar indeed has passed the 60 mark. I swear he's going to catch up soon. He'll catch up soon. And while my dream at the beginning of this year was promotion, that has to turn into the goal now. We are so close to automatic promotion. And with these players growing the way they are and playing the way they are, I think it's attainable. We just have to get there. The second half of Season 2 is crucial to this rebuild. It is the end of the season, and our golden boot this year actually goes to Josh Zerkaa. 81 overall, +7 overall rating this year, 29 and 11 for him. Simon Minter, though, he's 91 rated, 28 and 15. What a freaking season. Logan Paul +11 this year, just hit the 75 mark. And I know I haven't mentioned it thus far, but please don't mind the way that I tried to make each player look similar. I feel like Josh and Simon, some of those easier ones, I got it all right. Logan Paul, I don't know what happened there. Joe Weller, not even close. And I think you can already see where I was going with this one. However, we end up finishing 3rd overall, which means we are going to the playoffs to try and get to the Premier League in season number 2. For the FA Cup, we did not make the final. However, we did get knocked out in the semi-final to Arsenal, so we had a great run this year there. And the Carabao Cup goes to Aston Villa. But we are into the playoffs here against Middlesbrough. We have 2 games against them to try and make that playoff final. Let's see if we can make it to the Premier League for season number 3. The team is looking good overall. Vicstar at a 64. We are trying to get him caught up to the rest of his team. However, game 1 here against Middlesbrough. Can we take a lead in game 1? It is a 2-2 draw. It all comes down to game 2. All right, here it is. Game 2 to take the lead and go to the promotion playoff finals against Middlesbrough. Can we do it here? 2-0 win. Logan Paul and Josh Zerkaa take us to the playoff final. And our playoff final is against Leicester City to try and take that 3rd spot to head up to the Premier League. If there was any team I didn't want it to be, it was Leicester. Mostly because they have the Premier League experience. We do not at this point. Let's find out. Can we take down Leicester and go to the Premier League in season number 3? Let's find out here. 2-1 loss. Mavididi ends our hopes of going to the Premier League. We're stuck in the Champions League for one more season at the very least. I think I said Champions League. I meant Championship for another year at the very least. However, look at this team that we are taking into the Championship for season 3. Only 2 players not at that 80 mark yet. Vicstar is starting to grow rapidly. I believe he has the exciting prospect tag, and everyone else has the has potential to be special tag. I am pumped for how this team is going. I just need to start seeing some more results. I just want to see us hit that next level in season number 3 and push up to the Premier League, because this is definitely a Premier League side. And I'm making my way through this season, and I had to stop for this. Vicstar has won a Man of the Match award for the first time. He is still so far behind in rating, but he is playing very well apparently. And here in January, of course, it's Simon Minter, 25 goals, 7 assists, 18 and 12 for Josh, though, up to an 85. Logan Paul finally seeing some growth, up to an 80 overall. And Vicstar is on the cusp of the 70s. We're going to get him there, guys. We will get him there. But in the league, we're looking very, very solid. Only 2 losses total so far, 20 wins and 3 draws. First place. We are in round 3 of the FA Cup, and we are into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. I was not expecting that. It looks like we beat Man United 2-1 in round 3. We beat Spurs on penalties in round 4, and we toppled Aston Villa 3-1 to make it to the semi-finals against Newcastle. If we can go all the way in the Carabao Cup, we might just have European football in season 4. So of course we're going to watch this game. Let's see how we do against Newcastle. Can we go to the finals of the Carabao Cup in season 3? It's a 1-1 draw. We might have a second leg then, it looks like. But sadly, XQC is injured in the second leg of this matchup. This is going to be tough without our star goalie. Let's find out what happens. 2-1, we have lost. We are not going to the Carabao Cup final. And we ended up with a great year here. Simon Minter, 41 and 13 in the championship is absurd. Josh, 31 and 19, 50 goal contributions for him. And Toby has been a sleeper agent this rebuild, 26 and 15 from the right mid position. Joe Weller as well. This whole team has been absolutely crazy. But Vicstar played 61 games this year, ended up +8 overall, 73 rated. We've passed the 70s officially. And we did end up winning the championship, so we are going straight to the Premier League next year. We almost had it last year, but this year we solidified it, 114 points. And Newcastle did end up going on to beat Arsenal for the Carabao Cup. But it looks like it's our turn to face Arsenal for the final of the FA Cup. Again, I'm pretty sure if we win this, we have some European football next year, so let's see if we can get there. SIDEMEN FC versus Arsenal. SIDEMEN FC versus Arsenal for the FA Cup final at Wembley. They've played here before. They've got experience here. Both teams, that is. Let's see if we can win. Harry is injured. Is that going to be enough? 2-0 win over Arsenal. We just won the FA Cup. I think that means Europa League next year. But not only that, we'll be going to the Premier League next year as well. Big cash injection. Not saying we'll need it, but SIDEMEN FC has gone from League 1 to the Premier League in just 3 years. And I think we are more than Premier League ready. Obviously, our bench is not looking great. I want to keep that, honestly, as low rated as possible as to not take game time from the starting 11. But speaking of the starting 11, this team is crazy. XQC 86 rated already. KSI a 90 rated center back as our captain, of course. And our midfield is starting to get a lot more well-rounded now that Logan Paul's up at an 83. But we just need Vicstar to catch up to the rest of this team this year. I don't know if he's going to grow +7, but we're sure going to try. And because of that FA Cup win, we are indeed in the Europa League this year. Starting off with Victoria Plzen and Feyenoord. October is Galatasaray. November, Hearts and Lazio. December is Napoli. And January is Cercle Brugge and RC Lens. Pretty tough group, but I think it's well-rounded enough for us to at least move on to the next round. Just gonna call it when I see it. Rare Vicstar man of the match moment. And we waited until the end of January to get to the stats this time around due to the Europa League going through January, but Josh Zerkaa, 26-11 in the first half of the year, 23-8 for Simon. He is 95 rated already. And Logan Paul is catching up to that midfield. 9-5 for him, 87 rated. Mark Rober and Joe Weller have been growing at exactly the same pace, both 90 rated now. And KSI, 93 rated. Big rating, big forehead. It just makes sense. As for performance, we are currently top of the Premier League. We have the most wins. We also have 3 losses, so we need to mitigate that in the rest of the season. Not having our star midfielder for 3 months kind of dwindled us there. Of course, we won the Community Shield, and we are still in the FA Cup as well. But not the Carabao Cup, it seems. We went out to Newcastle in round 4. And in the Europa League, we did go undefeated, 4 wins, 4 draws, but it wasn't enough to get us top 8, so we're having to go to the playoffs to get to the round of 16. We're going to be facing Hearts. All right, game 1 against Hearts for the playoffs to get into the round of 16. Can we get a big lead here? 2-1 is not a big lead, it's not a great lead, but it is a lead. Game 2 here to go to the round of 16 in the Europa League. Can SIDEMEN FC do it? 3-1, more than enough. We're going to the round of 16. But this is anything but an easy matchup here. We are facing Benfica in the round of 16. Game 1 here. We're taking a 2-2 draw. Pavlidis with a brace. Zerkaa with a brace for us. Let's go into game 2. All right, it's a 2-2 draw. We are here against Benfica to move into the quarterfinals. Let's see if we can do it here. SIDEMEN FC versus Benfica. 3-1. We are going to the quarterfinals. Zerkaa with 4 goals over 2 games against Benfica. Crazy. That win against Benfica takes us to a quarterfinal tie against Marseille. This is going to be an interesting one. Look at this team, by the way. Vicstar is almost at that 80 rating, but this squad overall is crazy good. I was not expecting Mark Rober and XQC to hit the 90s this quickly. Can we do it against Marseille? Game 1, it's a 2-2 draw again. All comes down to game 2. Game 2, it is a 2-2 draw. Like I said, we have to win here to move on to the semis. I think this team can do it. Let's find out though. 3-1 again. And we are going to the semifinals in our first European tournament. And we are here. A chance for the Europa League final in our first Premier League season and our first European tournament. Vicstar did hit the 80 mark against one of the best Europa League teams there has ever been. Let's see if we can do it in game 1. 3-1 down. This is going to take a lot to come back. Game 2 is here. This is our chance for the Europa League final. Can we take it? Can we come back from this? 2-1 was not enough. 2-1 was not enough, sadly, and we will not be going to the Europa League final. But it does not matter that we didn't win the Europa League because we ended up first in the Premier League. Only 4 losses in our first season. We're heading straight to the Champions League next year. We also won the Community Shield at the beginning of the season. And we also won the FA Cup over Newcastle. I don't know if that counts as a treble, but I'm going to count it. Arsenal did go on to win the Carabao Cup this year. And now we can actually go around and look at European football because we're in it. We're in the Champions League this year. Manchester City beating PSG 1-0 for the Champions League. RC Lens took down Sevilla for the Europa League. And Newcastle United won the Conference League this year. But Josh Zerkaa, 56-24 is just wild numbers. 38-19 for Simon Minter, 96 rated now, 22-19 for 95 rated Toby, and Logan Paul has hit the 90 mark, as has pretty much everyone on this team other than Harry and Vicstar. And like I said, I doubted a +7 move, and like I said, I doubted +7 from Vic this year, but he's just taught me I'm not going to doubt again. And with us winning the Premier League last season, we are in the Champions League this year, our first ever Champions League phase. I am pumped for this. We start out a little tough though with RC Lens and Athletic Bilbao. October is Feyenoord. November is Ajax and Monaco. December, Bayer Leverkusen. And January is Real Madrid and Dinamo Zagreb. This is going to be a tough league phase, but it's going to be a good one. And I had a little bit of a feeling this was going to happen this year. We have won the Balon d'Or. Someone on SIDEMEN FC, and it was Josh Zerkaa winning the Balon d'Or. I swore that was going to be Simon, maybe even Toby as well with his contributions, but no. Josh Zerkaa getting the Balon d'Or handed over by Kaka. You saw Vicstar up in the stands there, and we made it through January, and we are still sitting first in the Premier League, but we are tied with Crystal Palace, barely beating them on goal difference as well. They were having a standout season. Our 7 draws are what's killing us right now. It looks like we did beat Spurs for the FA Community Shield. We are still in the FA Cup. we did not make it to the Carabao Cup finals. But what I really care about here is the Champions League. Let's see, did we qualify for Champions League? We have to make, I think, top 24. And so far we're above that. Top 8, I think, right, is automatic qualification. Let's see. We are not anywhere near the bottom. We are at least top 8. We are third. We made it third, undefeated in the Champions League this year. We are moving to the round of 16. Only Frankfurt and Sevilla beating us out on points. And the stats prove it. Our Balon d'Or winner, Josh Zerkaa, 20 goals, 9 assists, 18 and 10 for Simon. He is 97 rated now. And Vicstar has hit an 84 officially this season. He may hit high 80s by the end of the year. This is slowly changing from winning the Champions League with SIDEMEN FC to getting Vicstar 90 rated. What's going to happen first? And our Champions League round of 16 matchup is against Barcelona, so it's a very tough hurdle to start. It's our first time in the Champions League round of 16. Let's see if we can move through in game 1. 0-0 draw means it's all down to game 2. Our Champions League dreams are on the line here against Barcelona. 0-0 in the first leg. What about the second leg? 2-1 win. We're moving on to the quarterfinals. Quarterfinal matchup is against Inter Milan. They always have a cracked team in career mode, but I'm really hoping ours is better. Game 1, we are down 3-1. That is not what we wanted to see. We are going to have a massive comeback here, winning by at least 2 goals to move on. Can SIDEMEN FC do it against Inter Milan here? Game 2, 1-1 draw is not enough. We are out of the Champions League this year. But we do end this season top of the Premier League once again. Liverpool in second and Crystal Palace getting a Champions League spot next year. The FA Cup went to Liverpool this time. The Carabao Cup to Arsenal. And the Champions League went to Frankfurt. They had a stellar Champions League season this year. Europa League went to Sporting, and the Conference League went to Chelsea. But heading into this season, I need more from this team. And it's not just me. The board has confidence that we can not only win the league and win the FA Cup, but that we can win the Champions League this year as well. This is the first time I've seen that pop up. And we're going to have to do that by getting through the league phase, starting with Rangers, October's PSV and Lille, November Sociedad and Bayer Leverkusen, December Stade Rennais, and January ending off with Real Madrid and Celtic. Very tough group. As for the league, we are crushing it. Currently an invincible season, 20 points above second place. We did win the FA Community Shield this year. That's 1 trophy in the books. And we are still in the FA Cup, of course. But as for the Champions League, that did not go to plan. I said it was a tough group, and it was 4-2-2 for us. So we are having to go to the playoffs to get to the round of 16. And for that matchup, we are facing Frankfurt. Now, they, I believe, won the Champions League either last year or the year before, so this is not going to be easy. Game 1, though, let's see. 3-2 win for Frankfurt. All right, the team is getting frustrated with our current form, and I can't blame them. We have more losses this month, more than any other full season, I think. And we're currently down by 1 to Frankfurt. We need to come back here to make it to the next round. And a 3-0 comeback is enough. Zerkaa, Minter, we're going on to the round of 16. And just like the last matchup, this is not going to be easy. Our round of 16 game is against AC Milan. I will say I'm waiting for Vicstar to hit a 90. I don't know how far away we are. I do know we are still a couple games away from making a final. Can we do it here? Game 1, 2-2 draw. It all comes down to game 2. It's now or never. If we want to move on to the quarterfinals, we need to beat AC Milan here. Can this team do it? Yes, we can. 3-1. Some different goal scorers than usual. We got Harry, Toby, and Joe Weller in there, solidifying our move to the quarterfinals. But it is giant after giant this Champions League campaign. We are facing Bayern in the quarterfinals. I don't know if we beat them yet this video. I really hope we have, and I hope we can do it again. Game 1 here. 3-1 win. We will take that to start. We just can't fold game 2. 2 goals up on Bayern Munich is a great spot to be, but I can't say it's a safe spot. We're going to find out, though. Are we moving to the semifinals this year? Can we blow past Bayern? 2-1 win. We are going. One of our subs, our sub Rainer scored in the 80th minute. Okay. We are moving to the semifinals. 1 tie away from the Champions League final. Oh, dear. That's all I can say. Oh, dear. We are facing Real Madrid for the semifinals, one of the best Champions League teams ever, and another opportunity for us to move into the Champions League final for the first time, by the way. Looking at this team, you would have thought we've won 5 of these by now, but no. We're still waiting for our first Champions League, but what we're not waiting for anymore is Vicstar has finally hit a 90 rating. It only took a couple years, but he made it. Let's see, can Vicstar carry us to a Game 1 win against Real Madrid? And he does. I don't know if he did anything actually. It was Zerkaa and Logan Paul 2-0 up on Real Madrid. Let's head into Game 2 and let's get to this Champions League final. And although we're up 2-0 just like Bayern Munich, we are not exactly safe here. We need another masterclass performance and we need to move into the Champions League final. This is our time to do it. Come on. 3-0 loss. Mbappe in the 63rd minute knocks us out and we are not going to the Champions League final. And even though we may still be years away from a Champions League final at this point, we did win the Premier League once again. Crazy season, 93 points is absurd. Manchester City went on to win the FA Cup though, and Arsenal went on to win the Carabao Cup. Champions League this year is an El Clasico, so it's cool to see, but I wish it was us. The Europa League went to Dortmund on penalties, and the Conference League to Stuttgart 3-1. But Josh Zerkaa in the second half of the season, 41 and 18, 38 and 19 for Simon. What a crazy team this is. Both Toby and Simon up at that 98 rating. Same with Mark Rober. He was an unlikely hero of this video. And of course, Vicstar hit the 90 rating this year. Who knows where he'll go from here, but I will take the 90 rating. But what I can't take is us not being in a Champions League final. I know our bench is not great. However, this starting 11 should be carrying us through any game whatsoever. Our lowest rated player on the starting 11 is 90 rated. And our path to a Champions League final is still yet to be easy. Starting off with AC Milan this year, into Leipzig and Feyenoord. November is Salzburg and Napoli. December, Slavia Praha. And January is AEK and PSV. Very, very tough start to this league phase, but I really hope we can do better than last year. And this season, the boys are locked in. We are currently first in the Premier League once again. No surprise there, but with one loss, we still have more points than the same exact place we were last season. Looks like we won the Community Shield once again. We are still in the FA Cup. We are still in the Carabao Cup. And the Champions League went much, much better this year with only one loss, placing first overall. That's going to get us a good game for our round of 16 draw. As for how we're in this position, it is Josh Zerkaa, 35 goals in 37 games in the first half of the year, just over half a year. Hasn't gone up a rating, by the way, even with those stats. And Logan Paul is up there, 97 rated now, 19 goals, 1 assist. And I thought we were going to get something good out of this round of 16, but we are facing PSG in the round of 16 draw. Of course, the team looks great. We have a full midfield of 97 rated or higher, an amazing defense, a 97 rated goalie. Can we get past PSG? 5-1 first game. There's no way they beat us now. I just have to rip off the band-aid here. Can we move past PSG? We are 4 goals up. 7-2 aggregate. We end up 5 goals up. I'll take it. Straight to the quarterfinal. Seamless to get here. Hopefully it's seamless getting through here. We are facing Juve in game 1 of the quarterfinals. 1-1 draw. We know what usually happens here. It all comes down to game 2. Game 2, we might be leaving again here in the quarterfinals against Juve, even after beating PSG 7-2. Come on now, don't let it be true. 3-1, we're going to the semifinals again. But we can't ever expect it to be easy. We are facing Bayern Munich in the semifinals. On our way to the Champions League final, once again, 2nd year in a row, maybe 3rd year in a row now. Can we take Bayern in game 1? We've done it before. And we do take Bayern by 1 goal, but it's not over yet. Obviously, last year, we were up 2-0 in the first leg against Real Madrid, and we lost 3-0 in the second leg to deny us a chance in the finals. This time around, we're only up by 1, and it's Bayern Munich. This is not going to be easy, but I think if any team can do it, it's a team with a 94 rated Vicstar at right back. Come on, Vicstar, give us that win. 2-2 does it. We don't need to win, but we are going to the final. And while we're facing a fellow English club in the final with Man City, I'm happy to know that Toby will be on his A game for this matchup. As for the Prem, we almost hit a 100-point season, only 2 losses all year there. However, we did not make the FA Cup final this year. We did seem to win the Carabao Cup though, so we are on the verge of a treble. And it is all thanks to Josh Zerkaa, 56 goals, 15 assists, and still has not moved a rating. Some might call it boring, I call it consistency. And we did finally have 2 players hit the 99 rated mark with Toby, 99 rated Toby, against his most hated team, Man City. This is going to be fun. And a 99 rated Mark Rober at left, a Vicstar at a 94. That's the real win of this series so far. And I know I've said this plenty of times throughout this video, but it does finally all come down to this. We're going to watch the SIDEMEN boys do it for real, and it just so happens that this matchup is happening in Old Trafford. I don't know what the odds of that are. While we don't have home field advantage, Man City has ultimate home field disadvantage. Let's make this our one and done attempt at a Champions League final win. And we are in the Champions League final. The SIDEMEN boys are here in top of the box again with KSI into Logan Paul. The prime connection, Toby in the box, gets a shot, it's blocked. Zerkaa with a header! Zerkaa with a header in the 20th minute. I was not expecting that ball to go in, but it did. Josh Zerkaa with the goal. 20 minutes into this game. He hasn't upgraded in rating in 3 seasons now, and I do not care because he's scoring goals like that. Kickoff again. We are 1-0 up against Man City here at Old Trafford. Crazy how that lined up. I'm happy for it though. Jumping straight into the second half. I am glad that we are up, but we need to solidify this win. Give that ball to Vicstar. Come on now. Why not? Man City top of the box with 5 minutes remaining. KSI with a slide. Stops an attack, at least for the meantime. Ball comes back in. Haaland with a header. What a header to tie that up. Erling Haaland has tied up the game for Man City in the 87th minute. He's just too tall for Harry, I think. But can we get a late winner here? Less than 2 minutes to go. We are driving, of course, as always. Joe Weller gets the turn, gets it out to Josh, into Simon, back into Josh, out to Joe Weller, gets the shot off. What a goal from Joe Weller. 91st minute. We were about to call it and go into extra time, and Joe Weller has just racked it top ends. What a play from the boys. That final push to get the win. The stadium exploded as he hit that shot right around. Bart Verbruggen is the goalkeeper. Valverde, for some reason, captain of Man City, and for some reason, not defending the goal. We will take it. Joe Weller, yeah, I know. I didn't even try on Joe Weller. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't make that face. But Joe Weller has won us the game, and the whistle is blown. It is official. SIDEMEN FC now has a Champions League to their name, along with like 20 Premier Leagues at this point. But the Champions League is what matters. We have won the Champions League with Josh Zerkaa, Joe Weller, and SIDEMEN FC. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, comment down below what other content you want to see. I was pumped for this one. I'm sorry it took so long to get out. But that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.